Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the upcoming solar eclipse taking place on April 8th in the Pisces sign, within Pisces in the Revati Nakshatra. So like the way guys, I always say this thing that eclipse is a time when nature tend to remain very sensitive. That in itself means that it can create and lead those events which is going to have a collective impact on the whole humanity. Like the way guys, by to go very far, couple of days back only this earthquake came in Taiwan. We all are still witnessing and seeing those disturbing images, and because days in between lunar eclipse and solar eclipse are always very sensitive. And guys, whenever something big is meant to happen, there is always a build up and always a backstory. Like the way, for example, on April 1st only, Israel with their F-35, they entered Syria in the Damascus. They brought down the Iranian consulate, killing their two senior generals. And just a couple of hours back only, CIA has issued this warning that Iran can retaliate anytime. And generally CIA's information and intel is always to the point. They did the same for this Moscow attack as well. So the point which I'm saying over here is that whenever nature tend to remain sensitive, these kind of events generally happen. So what happens above, so happens below as well. So when we talk about from the collective point of view, so in this regard, this solar eclipse is not going to be visible in India, from where majority of my audience are. But yes, all those people who are living in states, in Mexico, in South America and all, so in majority of the places it is going to be visible. So what as an individual we can do, the way we are seeing, the way planets are getting aligned and energies are so sensitive, so it will be much advisable to kind of refrain from going to the crowded places, or if you have to take any important decision, it will be much better to avoid taking those decisions. Now guys, definitely I will be shifting this whole discussion customized to all the lagnas, all the moon signs as well, but general caution and care is something which everyone needs to follow. Like for example guys, like let's say for example in your case, if you already have that kind of dosha in your chart, that is how it always trigger. Like the way for example right now in the transit, Venus and Rahu are like conjunct. Someone who has got Venus and Rahu conjunct in the natal chart as well, they are going through the dasha of Venus Mahadasha, Rahu Antardasha, then the possibility of events happening tend to remain very strong. So whatsoever I have mentioned over here, let's say for example in your natal chart as well, your sun is conjunct with Rahu, your moon is conjunct with Ketu, or right now you are in a Mahadasha of this could be within sun you are in the Rahu period, or your important planets are placed in the Pisces whose dasha is currently going on, then you have to follow additional caution and care needs to be followed. So yes guys, and just because overall planetary alignment is in such a state that we all know this thing that Mars and Saturn are right now transiting in the Aquarius, Jupiter is there in the Aries planning to shift, Mercury is already heavily afflicted. Right at the time of the eclipse only, it is going to be shifting its places, coming back in the same retrograde motion in the sign of its debilitation, and Venus, Rahu, they all are involved. So if Venus is getting afflicted, coming in the trap of this eclipse, definitely for the females as well, specifically the senior women leaders as well, so they can be questioned, there could be some sort of allegation, all of that you have to be like whether on your personal level or whether on a global level, this is how things can trigger up. So yes guys, that is something which I wanted to say. And yes, people who are in the tech industry, like there has been news all over about the layoffs and all, and along with that, if you are actually operating chiefly in the tech industry, you have to be careful. Or let's say for example, if in your line of work you have to take many sea travel, or your major business or operations are connected with sea, ocean and all, then also you have to be careful. Along with that guys, definitely in India there's not much of the concern, but because Revati generally falls in the northeastern side, so those northeastern states could witness some sort of unrest. And definitely solar eclipse energy always puts the people who are in the top position in a vulnerable zone. So like the way sudden allegations, sudden sort of corruption charges, so this is how things can happen. And along with that guys, I mentioned the water related calamities and all, like when we talk about tsunami and all. So those possibilities always loom whenever nature or prakriti is in such a alignment. So yes guys, after knowing little bit about it, now we will shift our discussion that what sort of caution and care all the zodiac signs need to follow. I will recommend for these kind of topics, watching it both for your lagna and moon sign becomes important, but I will still somehow give more weightage to the moon sign. So okay guys, let's start our discussion. So when we talk about the Aries lagna or Aries moon sign natives, so guys, it is going to be impacting your 12th house. That means sudden losses or sudden expenses could be on your doors. Also guys, like the way when we talk about all those kind of nature disaster, calamity, being stranded, dog bite, animal attack, those are the typical traits of the energies of the afflicted 12th house. So be very careful, be very cautious around these areas. When we talk about the Taurus lagna natives, so guys, definitely in your case, this whole energy is going to be impacting your 11th house. So when we talk about all sort of gains or anything to do with your income, there could be some sudden news of some blockage, some sort of restriction, some sort of inquiry, investigation. So be very careful. It's like whenever things align this way, they will force you, compel you to kind of provoke your primal instincts and do something wrong. So I would say that keep your calm, well maintained. Along with that, 11th house in a way also tells about friend circle, also tells about your your popularity, your followership, your public image as well. So there could be some sort of eclipse, where it's like some sort of rumor around your name and all. So this is how things can work out. This is how the traces could be felt. So be very cautious, be very careful. When you know how nature is sensitive and behaving, better not to get into the deeper conflict with it. Now guys, when we talk about the Gemini lagna natives, so guys, in your case, as you can see that the eclipse energy is going to be impacting your 10th house. So definitely guys, at your work front as well, there could be some sudden outcome of events, sudden change in authority, attitude of your bosses, or allotted job responsibilities. There could be some sudden shuffle, sudden sort of upheaval or changes which you might have to deal with. So do not panic, and I would say this thing that it will become more important because if those zodiac sign and planets which are involved, they are also active in your dasha system as well, then you have to be additionally cautious, careful. My recommendation is that it's like because in India it's not going to be visible, so recitation of Lord Vishnu's Sahasranam and it's like Narayan Kvach should be considered. Now guys, when we talk about the Cancer lagna or moon sign natives, so guys, in your case, energy of this eclipse is going to be impacting or influencing your 9th house. So definitely guys, when we talk about do not do anything relying on the luck, because luck is going to be very sensitive, very fragile during the time of the eclipse. Along with that, any sort of travels and all, if it could be avoided, it is going to be much advisable, because this thing that whenever there is a time of the eclipse, full moon, new moon, Leo and Cancer natives are the most vulnerable. So be very cautious, careful around these areas. Now guys, when we talk about the Leo lagna or moon sign natives, so guys, in your case, this whole energy is going to be impacting, influencing your 8th house. So one thing is for sure that you guys are in a yoga of some sudden unpredictable development. Like I would say this thing that if your running dashas are favorable and you are in that nature of job where some sudden gains are possible, there's a slight possibility of that. But when we talk about the concerns of your health, concerns of your public image, that is something which you have to guard very carefully. Now guys, when we talk about the Virgo lagna natives, so guys, in your case, definitely, as you can see, this eclipse energy is going to be impacting or influencing your 7th house. So matters of your business, concerns of your public image, you're dealing with your partner and all. So in all these avenues and department, you have to be very careful, like whatever new decision you have to take, or if there's going to be some sudden development beyond your calculation. So how you maintain your calm, that is going to be very important. Now for the Libra lagna natives, so guys, pressure is actually building up a lot for you guys. I've been receiving a lot many emails from the Libra Lagna natives, but I can assure you this thing, guys, that once Sun is going to be finally leaving your 6th house, there's going to be relief. But let's say, for example, if you're already at a receiving end, so I would say that the next few days are like going to be very kind of close to the burnout kind of situation and all. So do not lose your calm, do whatever you can do which is going to relax you. That becomes more important. Again, guys, having the knowledge of astrology does not act like a magic pill. It's just like that it's a science and knowledge of guidance, that I know that in which direction wind is sailing, and accordingly I'm going to be molding or adapting myself. So yes, at your work front, pressure is actually building up a lot, and please, I will not be surprised if this is what my Lagna is, and suddenly out of nowhere someone is accusing me of something, someone is putting some allegation on of something which I have not done. So you know that this is what the energy is. 6th house is the house of conflict. Eclipse is about, you know, people's judgments are getting clouded, and specifically it impacts those people more where the moon is weak. Okay? Chandra kamzor hai, moon is weak, so their willpower, their determination is very weak, and then they, you know, just in order to get rid of their pent up energy, they put their problem, their mess on others, and others people get involved. So yes, health, credit, debts, loans, any conflicts needs to be avoided or dealt very carefully. Now guys, when we talk about the Scorpio moon sign or the ascendant natives, so guys, in your case, the energy of this eclipse is going to be influencing the attributes of your 5th house. So the judgment is getting clouded. So over here, guys, and again, see, pertaining to the matters of your, like I would say that stock market, or you're dealing with the children and all, so be very careful over here, because you know, right now you guys are actually kind of very rife, very easy to be provoked, because your ascendant Lord Saturn, they all are conjunct in your 4th house. So a lot of churning which is taking place within you, but the concern over here is that with all this emotional internal churning, mind could also lose out. So keep it in control and command. That is all what I can say. And also guys, 5th house related concern, if you are a student, you are in any romantic relationship and all, so be very careful. Like any sort of, you know, which we say in the policing and those fields, we say honey trap and those kind of things, they generally happen whenever planets are in these kind of alignments. Like your temptation, your attraction towards something which is not real, which is an illusion, which is not good for you. Now guys, when we talk about the Sagittarius Lagna natives, so guys, definitely the whole energy of this eclipse is going to be influencing the attribute of your 4th house. So in the domestic life, there is going to be some churning and some sort of lack of clarity, insecurity, anxiety, which Sagittarius Lagna natives might have to deal with. And along with that, guys, it's a solar eclipse, right? So your 9th house energy is getting afflicted in the 4th house. So yes, in the domestic front, like, you know, some sort of unsettling news from parents. So this is how things can work out. So I would say that you know, doing japa, sadhana, meditation, Narayan Kwach, recitation of that, Shri Vishnu Sahasranam, all of that could be or should be considered. Now guys, when we talk about the Capricorn Lagna or moon sign natives, so guys, in your case, this whole energy of the eclipse is going to be impacting or influencing your 3rd house. So like the way, guys, you know this thing, that 3rd house which tells about our initiatives, about our connections, neighborhood, dealings and all, short journeys, travel. So guys, you have to be a bit careful over here. Sun in any case has got a rulership over your 8th house. Now it is forming a kind of eclipse energy in your 3rd house. So it's just like that, some ghost of the past might trouble you. There's a typical energy of, like, you know, suddenly people are withdrawing their support towards you, or some sort of allegation, accusation, so suddenly getting provoked and, you know, getting into some sort of, you know, road rage, those kind of fights and all. So harsh use of word, reckless use of aggression and all is something which you have to guard yourself from. Now guys, when we talk about the Aquarius Lagna natives, so guys, in your case, as you can see that this whole energy of eclipse is going to be impacting or influencing the matters of your 2nd house. So your speech has to be very monitored. Second thing is that, guys, typically this is a kind of a yoga where people get food poisoning or some sort of sudden financial expense, or like those kind of people and ideas coming to your mind which are not very good for you, for your financial health and all. So regarding there, in those areas you have to be careful. Now guys, for all the Pisces Lagna or moon sign natives, so guys, in your case, the energy of this eclipse is going to be impacting or influencing your first house, which in itself tells about that yes, there's a strong vulnerability of your like public image, being on the radar, on the line, or suddenly health related concern, some sort of allegation, accusation and all. So in all these areas you have to be careful, because guys, in your case it hardly matters that Sun is a very good friend of your ascendant lord, but it has got a rulership over the 6th house in itself. So that means that unwanted, unneeded provocation, confrontation, people are unnecessarily agitating you, provoking you and all. So just be very careful. And also guys, anything to do with the scam calls and all of that vulnerability will still remain a couple of days before and after, when this eclipse energy is going to be influencing you. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.